Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are... let me see. It's been a little bit since I've played. And by a little bit, I mean it was yesterday, but it was a lot of stuff. What is this? Oh, this is... Yes, that's right. That's the Prussian revolt against Scandinavia. You know, it's interesting. I don't think I've seen much of a Germany since the new patch. So we'll see. We have in Italy a lot of the time, but not so much the other thing. Hold on a second. Roman Republic is a democratic republic, but it's not that democratic. Alright, so... What are we doing? We're not doing Council Republic, that's for sure. That's going to make the trade unions extremely upset, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. At least not in the long term. Oh, that's curious. Huh. Well, I don't know how East Africa got Russian, but maybe I'll steal it. That'd be fun. I bet I could outfight the Russians in East Africa. Russia's still on basically terrible military production methods, right? They're like still in the 1850s, right? Yeah, they are. That's definitely a place I could go. Let me see. Who else do they have a truce with? Because I don't want anyone else to try to step in and goof with me on this. Spain, China... Mexico, Philippines. And I don't have a truce with the Russians. I shouldn't. Yeah, I do not. Because I do not have... Because I chose not to fight them in China. Things are very silly. Can I go after Korea yet? No, not for another 9 months. Oh, that's that same truce. Well, maybe. Maybe we'll see about both of those. Someone's going to go after Korea, I feel. So, it might as well be me. Let me see. Muhammara. Oh, in here. Interesting. And France is involved. Is Muhammara independent? No, they're France's. Well, that makes sense. Alright, I'm gonna allow them to call me in if they want me in there, which I don't think they will. Market access in Holland is low. Well, that's not great. Let's build some railways. How did I only have 3 levels of railways in Holland? That's kind of unbelievable to me. Who's done this? Oh, that's what I was going to do. In this episode, I was going to work on production methods because I have an arc welding production method that I have access to. So let's go ahead and turn that on. And now, to ensure that I've got the necessary power, we're going to swap our power plants over to fully coal-fired. And it's going to be fine. You're gonna love it. So, we'll go forward. That'll dramatically increase our construction capacity. And then we're going to see how that affects the price of power in the country. Market. Sort of market price. Power. Power's pretty cheap, except in Waloon, where it's enormously expensive. Power plants are operating at maximum capacity, so we absolutely need to increase those. I'm going to build it up to 30. I think 30 is a sensible amount of power plants to build. We'll go ahead and throw those at the top of the scale. We'll throw the railways at the top in Holland. Tell you what, places where we've got cheap power and power plants firing people, let's go ahead and upgrade the railway. Oh no, because that costs less power to do diesel trains. Never mind. Finish mass immigration. Finish him. I don't know how I wound up having so many more power plants than I needed here specifically. I wonder if it's just a production methods situation. What if I go to nitrogen fixation? No, that's not going to help. That's just going to cost more oil. It says you'll be productive. It was lying. I'm always trying to get this nitrogen fixation thing happening. Yeah, we're an electric arc for steel mills. That's part of why. Alright. What about transportation? Transportation's just fine. Again, except for Wallonia. It's really cheap in Holland. Is that part of why we're... Are my railways not operating at maximum capacity? No, they are. Alright, curious. We'll build a few more railways in Wallonia as well. They've got an input shortage of electricity because of the power plants. Well, that's fine. Maybe in Wallonia... we'll swap the railways. That'll reduce the pressure on the power. Does that make sense as a plan? What does that do to my overall market? What does that do to the price of oil? That's the thing that I'm concerned about. Price of oil is still pretty solid. Actually, that might be a good call to do everywhere, now that I'm thinking on it. Let's try it. But I just changed it in Wallonia. It's already there in Wallonia. Alright, so what does that do to the price of oil now? It's not much higher. Alright, beautiful. And that means Holland should have necessary market access? No, it still doesn't. Alright, so we do need to finish out those increases. And we'll continue to build up power plants in Wallonia. Let's take a look at whether or not we need to. No, power is still ridiculously expensive. Oh my god, we're at like double. We're at like double. We need more power plants in Wallonia. I don't know how this happened, but we need them. We need them bad. Maybe we go to oil fired. Oh, we don't have that. All right, Hamara, don't wish to invest in you. Oh boy, this is an interesting situation. I got 12 in the can. Currently got 21. So let's build another 9. We'll build another 7. And we'll throw them at the bottom of our current... There we go. That should be fine. That's really focusing the development where we need it. Alright. France is buying our coal. That's great. I love coal. I love coal! Standard of living is pretty good. Radicals are doing just fine. We've got a lot of loyalists in this country, I tell you what. So let's get the game going a little faster. Ottoman Empire is almost at the point where I can make them into a... Dominion, although now I'm really starting to be short on convoys. Can I? I'm gonna have to cut some trade routes. Let me see. I don't have a lot of trade routes using a lot of convoys. I am mostly... It's mostly port connections. I just need to take and directly hold more coastal territory. That's what I need. My goodness, how do I deal with this? Do I start just conquering... here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sort of opportunistically grab states in Northern Europe. And I know that sounds a little weird, but I think I have to. I need more port capacity, and there's no other way to get it done. This is not ideal. Is there anywhere else I can steal territory that's sensible? So ideally it's Hanover. Hanover would put me in a war with the Prussians. The Prussians are currently at war with the USA. So I could potentially get what I want and just have it. I currently have a defensive pact with the Prussians, which I would like to keep. Alright, how much would it take? Oldenburg is a council republic, so no one's going to stop me doing anything over here. Oldenburg is not in any power block. Yeah, we're going after Oldenburg. That's the plan. Alright. They've decided to fight. Again, no one's going to stop me on this. So let's go ahead and mobilize the lads. I don't think I'm actually going to need anything, a full mobilization here. Oldenburg does not have high battalion capacity. They have no GDP. Wow, okay, Oldenburg is really Robert Borcht. Alright, so that's fine. We'll consolidate some states up there. I can't believe this. I can't believe this is that I'm doing this just for the convoys, but I need it. My overseas empire is too large, and it doesn't seem like anyone else in the customs union. I can't make anyone else in my empire build more convoys for me, which is part of my issue. I suppose I could form a power block, but this seems more productive. Is Hamburg in the same state? No, they're an Elbe. Oh, Bremen is also an Elbe. Alright, so I'm only going to be able to get the rest of Hanover if I break a bit off of Hanover, which I don't want to do. But realistically, I think it might be the thing I need to do. What are Prussia's? Prussia is chronically good at military. Oh, not this time. Interesting. Anti-British Society demands action. The Anti-British Society has requested that we declare our rivalry with the British Republic. Successfully acting on the proposal will gain our government significant goodwill from the lobby. And to those who would refuse and prefer preserving the status quo, there was no hesitation. His response sounded well rehearsed because it was. This was a proactive man, one who spent hours pacing his chambers and anticipating attacks to come. My reply would be that we should never have allowed them to become so close to us in the first place. A friendship built upon deceit is nothing at all, and the goodwill gained from it, illusory. I don't really need that. This is not in our interests. Sure if that doesn't... Yeah, that's going to make them mad. Oh, I'm making the trade unions big mad, but that's okay. The Brussels Advocate, an explicitly partisan newspaper, founded by members of the movement to enact elected bureaucrats in Brussels, has published its first issue. Between advertisements and political cartoons, it hosts a ruthless critique of government policy. There was a certain brilliance to it. By printing it on the cheapest paper, by skimping on ink, by flooding it with advertisements and large text, one could produce a profitable paper for only a penny per copy, whilst its competitors sold for 5 to 10 times that amount. By making the paper relentlessly and shamelessly endorse a certain viewpoint, one could have every working person in the city aware of it by evening. If one's competitors refused to stoop that low, they would become responsible for their own suffocation. How long can a partisan paper last? Increased support for elected bureaucrats? Or is that so deny them a printing license? I'm going to do the second one. It seems our Council Republic movement has died out. And the trade unions are big mad, but that's okay. It's fine. They're very loyal. It's not going to be a problem. To plot a coup. Moritz Van Der Does has grown discontent with the Dutch government's institutions. A conspiracy is forming among the trade unions to launch a coup against the government to establish a council republic. What did you make of Moritz's little speech back there? It's a drastic proposal, but hard times call for great men to take charge. Will the people see it that way? They must be made to see it that way. Delightfully devilish. Advance the coup plot. Trade unions get stronger. Adds coup to the journal. Or keep an eye on Moritz Van Der Does. Retreats the coup plot. Or doesn't advance the coup plot as much. Adds coup to the journal. Coup attempt resisted. Weaker trade unions. I'm gonna keep an eye on him. And we're gonna see how this goes. So this is gonna get progress once a month. Will fail if at least one of these, the coup has no progress, the trade unions are not part of the government, or stance on Council Republic less than endorse. So what we really need... Alright, this is actually a weekly ticker here. Yeah, okay, so we need to be a little bit more proactive about this. So, how do I... Well, I suppose I could declare rivalry on the British Republic. I don't wish to do that, but, it might give us a little bit of appeasement. This failed petition is going to decay eventually, but it needs to get down to -0. But it needs to get to 0 in order to to proc. So, newly formed parties. We have a communist party and an illegitimate government. Interesting. So we have an election cycle kicking off right now. I'm going to wait a week so that thing sorts itself out. Oldenburg backs down. Wonderful. Alright, so let's begin incorporating the territory and building up huge port facilities. Oh, excellent. So, I'm going to need a decree. Ideally 2 decrees. So I can't do suppression because I got guaranteed liberties enacted. Well, that's a kerfuffle. I'll have to do road maintenance. Fear amongst investors. With concerns spreading about national stability in the United Netherlands, investors affiliated with the industrialists have threatened to withdraw their investments from several factories in Flanders. Terror could be seen throughout the streets, spreading through the passers-by like a poisonous fog. Their walks were brisk, their eyes furtive, their conversations quiet. The man in the top hat turned to his colleague, who was still gazing out of the window from the restaurant. This is no way to run a country, and no country to run a business in. Appease the industrialists by accepting an interest rate increase. Okay, whose progress will retreat by 10. Ooh, that's good. Or, if they were truly concerned, they would stand for the United Netherlands. Industrialists unhappy, whose progress will advance by 10, reduce throughput for textile and fertilizer plants. I'm going to go with the first one. Loan interest rate doesn't concern me at all. Retreating the coup's progress is good. So let's see. How long is it going to take to build these? It's still going to take a long time. I think we're going to see a separatist movement proc. Alright, so it's going to take about a year. I think we're going to see a separatist movement proc. That seems extremely likely given the high turmoil here. They do have 1 port though, so hopefully standard of living should increase significantly. It's not. Population's really low here. Partisan papers. Party-affiliated newspapers are okay, wait, hold on. Before we do this, let's take a look at the elections. So, the Communist Party has massive momentum. The Free Trade Party and the Fascist Party each have some. Interesting. Partisan papers. Party-affiliated newspapers have been proliferated during this election season. Publications associated with the Free Trade Party have been particularly effective in spreading the party line. Read all about it. Honest politicians attacked by shameless cowards. Leading candidate for office issues heartwarming appeal to the common man's heart. Man on campaign trail pets a puppy. Read all about it. The Free Trade Party has used the papers brilliantly. Our newspaper circulation is through the roof. This is a boom for publishers. You know, I'll give a boom for publishers. I think the Free Trade Party is not necessarily a gang that I'm interested in improving the efficiency of. Gosh, is there anything else I can do here? Damnable guaranteed liberties. All right, we have an illegitimate government. I could change the government right now, and I'm inclined to. If we put the free traders and the fascists in power, we could have a legitimate government. On the other hand, if I put the communists and the fascists together, I could have legitimate government too, but I want to wait till the election. On the other hand, if I do this first, I could put out the... Uh-oh. Gonna put a safety save in here. If it saves, we're good to go. If it doesn't save, I just need to start the episode over. Whew! Alright. I got myself scared. This is going to cause a lot of radicals during this election, but I think it'll be fine. Coup's progress is advancing still. But I think I've got a lot of weeks before the coup pops off. That said, let's take a look at another one of these small states. Bremen's a natural target. Is Prussia still at war with the Americans? They are. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna grab Hanover from Hanover. Oh wait, I can't because relations with Prussia are too good. Never mind, I'm not going to do that. We'll do one more. We'll grab Bremen. So if I grab Bremen, is anyone going to get involved? Looks like no. Alright. We'll head there next. Oh, the French and the British are finally fighting. That's exciting. Socialist internationalism. The Communist Party is receiving election campaign support from the communist trade unions in Austria-Hungary. So comrades, come rally. In the last fight, let us face. The Internationale unites the human race. Austro-Hungarian socialists are welcome here too, 30% momentum. Or try to limit foreign influence in the election, 10% momentum. So this first one gives us more communist characters. I don't necessarily want that, so I'm going to do the second one. So, French and the British, what are you fighting about? Britain, you're trying to steal Fuerteventura, Herreroland, Tahiti, the Ionians, and Madras. France, you're trying to grab Benin, the West Indies, Bikaner, and you're going for regime changes in Bikaner and Cambodia. The Smoky Backroom. Figures representing the trade unions who approached elements of the armed forces, looking for support in a hypothetical plot against the government. I'm well aware that our relations have been tense in the past, but I would hope that the radical threat facing our nation and the need for decisive action is enough to bring us together on this momentous occasion. Our partnership can be fruitful for both parties, stronger armed forces, coup's progress goes up, or the armed forces aren't interested in these plots, coup's progress goes down. You know I'm going to do the second one. We're going to keep this coup progress as low as we can. If we can get to the election, we can see what the shape of the political sphere looks like. Meanwhile, if we can grab Bremen, we can get another place. Bremen's probably also in a cost of living crisis. Yeah, they are. So, gosh, I'm really hoping I don't wind up with a separatist movement. Scandinavia sides with France. Alright. Prussia sides with France. Oh man, Great Britain, you are going to be Robert Borked on this, I tell you what. You're going to have a real Dickens of a time. And then I'll grab Hamburg after that. And, you know, we'll see how things go. I really want to get these ports built. But they're going better. They're going much faster now. Excellent. Something seems to have gone right in Hanover, because turmoil is significantly down. No, standard of living is hiking up. And it's going up by the day. Well, excellent. I did it. Through conquest, I have made a better, safer Europe. Let's go ahead and build ourselves some freaking government admins. And we've got ourselves another event. Democratic Solidarity. In a pro-suffrage gesture, Jose Antonio Rocafuerte has made a positive endorsement of the Communist Party for its stalwart support of voting rights in the United Netherlands. There is no issue in our republic greater than that of the franchise, that method through which the people may decide any future issue which comes their way. With that in mind, my endorsement should come as no surprise. The Communist Party is the guardian of the Dutch franchise, 30% momentum, or perhaps some members more than others, stronger trade unions, less momentum with the communists. I'm going to go with the second one. I don't know to what extent that'll actually help my situation as a whole. Up in arms. Barracks in Friesland have been reporting a large amount of mysterious losses of firearms as of late. The army wastes enough ammunition to outfit a regiment on the range every day. Well, that's 100 rounds compared to that monstrous expenditure. Well, that's 1,000. The difference is, on the range, we can be sure it's not flying towards us. The armed forces have their own needs. Reduce barracks throughput, coup's plot will advance. Or this is clearly some kind of... It's a plot. It's a plot. Armed Forces Salty. I'm going to go with the second one. Armed Forces Salty is a thing I can definitely tolerate. And the Armed Forces are they're not marginalized, but they're not happy, but they're doing fine. They'll be fine. They'll live with it. We got a situation popping off in Switzerland. So I'm going to go ahead and send the Republican Guard, and if I don't think anyone's going to get involved in Bremen, so we'll leave that be. Oh, we finally got the battleship unlocked. Ports in Dutch Hanover are still increasing in size. Everyone's going neutral about that other thing, so I'm very pleased with that. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Lots of events are popping off. So the diplomatic play in Senegal, the friendship added a bunch more war goals. That's just fine. You're not going to pull me in. Interesting. What could I get if I did? Nothing I want. I don't even really want the cash. Frankly. Walls and wheat paste. Jose Antonio Rocafuerte has organized a nationwide postering campaign on behalf of the movement to enact elected bureaucrats. In some cities, there is scarcely a wall left unmarked by pro-elected bureaucrats displays. Sunday, gathering for elected bureaucrats. Meetings at all community houses, 7 to 8 p.m. Show your support for the just cause of elected bureaucrats. Refreshments available for all attendees at 7:30. Subscribe to the local advocate for further information. They'll wash away with the rain, 10 political support. Or order these walls cleaned at once. Reduced political strength of the petite bourgeoisie. I'm going to go with the second one. That's always where I'm going to go, because I don't want to make the petite bourgeoisie any stronger. The black shirts. Golly gee willikers. There sure is a lot of events going on right now. Sure are a lot of things happening. The black shirts. Ethno-nationalist paramilitaries organized by the fascist party are using violence and coercion to intimidate voters loyal to rival parties. Violence? Coercion? Someone's been looking at the dictionary lately. Huh. If all we're doing is stating the facts and people have nothing to rebate them, then why would that be called coercion? If I tell you it won't snow unless it's cold, am I also coercing the weather? Tolerate fascist paramilitaries, extra momentum for the fascists, reduce momentum for the communists and free traders, attempt to enforce voter suppression laws, reduce momentum for the fascists, slightly increase momentum for the fascists, angry intelligentsia, reduce momentum for the communists and free traders, or crack down on paramilitary organizations. We have this because we have protected speech and guaranteed liberties in law enforcement level 3, minus 20% momentum for the fascist party, and happier fascists. That's the intelligentsia. I think the intelligentsia are still the fascists, right? Yeah, they are. Cool. All right. We've cracked down, and that's made the intelligentsia much happier. There's communist revolt in Senegal. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to send the Coastal Defense Force to Switzerland. We're going to send the Republican Guard to Senegal. And we're going to mobilize the Coastal Defense Forces and the Home Defense Forces. Conscripts. To make sure that everything goes okay. Once the Army of the United Netherlands is sorted out, this thing's going to go a lot faster. So there's the war with Bremen. That's good to go. And this army is on its way, or needs to be on its way to Senegal to deal with the situation there. I'm going to need to put my navy in the area, so go ahead and do that. We have undefended fronts, and that's just sort of something we've got to deal with. I am going to start incorporating Elbe. And I'm going to start building up a whole mess of port facilities. Because that is the thing that I'm taking this territory to do. Is that silly? Probably. Is it necessary? Absolutely. We're going to cut our consumption tax on cars to throw in another road maintenance decree. This one in Dutch Elbe. That'll hopefully get that situation sorted out. Sokoto sides with Gobier. Cool. Alright, so there's the election. The trade unions are still at -1. The coup hasn't advanced much. So I think I can wait it out. I've still got a hyper-righteous government. If I bring the fascists in, it'll still be righteous. If I swap to just the free traders and the fascists, it'll be illegitimate. Okay, I'm back to a righteous government. Alright, excellent. So I don't actually need to change. Yeah, I figured that would be fine. We just needed to get the mandate of the people over here. Anyway, critical support. A group representing the usual opposition forces of the industrialists has approached the government to propose cooperation against, quote, forces that would subvert the government in the United Netherlands. We must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly, we shall all hang separately. Accept their well wishes for now, stronger industrialists, happier industrialists. Coup retreats by 15%, or we will not embolden their own plot against us. Upper stardom pops become more loyalist, industrialists unhappy. So, the coup is currently at 20%. Alright, so this isn't going to end it, but we'll accept their well wishes for now. Stronger industrialists is not a problem for our current state. And it'll be nice to have them be happier, and then on top of that, alright, so we'll put this army over here. And then on top of that, reducing the coup's progress. Like, as long as we can delay this, the trade unions are going to sort themselves out. They're going to stop being unhappy soon. Alright. We got our ports built. So these are currently hiring. These are set to Anchorage. We need to set them to modern ports. Oh, I need to... Frick. Forgot to normalize production methods. So with these ports starting to produce convoys, yeah, here we go. Okay, now they're producing convoys, and the ones in Elbe should be doing the same soon. Soon we'll have our convoy problem solved. 2 arms. All right. All of this is looking just fine. I think I'm very much able to do what I want to do right now. And how is the stuff in Dutch Elbe going? It's not going too bad. There's Communist Senegal. This is not ideal. I'm going to put these armies on defense for now, and I'm going to send the Home Defense Force, which needs another leader. Let's go with an industrialist guy. To Switzerland as well. Alright. I'm going to send the Republican Guard to... Nope, never mind. I don't need to. In fact, I can put these armies on advance now. Because force comparison here is looking a lot better. And let's go ahead and invade. We'll take the Republican Guard. And we'll invade the one remaining part of Senegal. And that'll let us get done everything we need to get done. Perfect. Proletarian revolt in Isak that I just completely didn't notice. That could cause a problem, but if it does, then we'll just conquer them. Okay, you're already on your way. Alright. Beautiful. I'm going to send the Republican Guard over there just to make sure that I've got what I need to get. Isak should not create a problem for me. And the French and British are once again shooting at each other, which is just fine. We are a little bit over our usual episode length. How is our convoy situation even worse than it was before? This is abominable. That said, I think... Oh, probably because we're transferring troops. That said, I think we're going to have to wait to dealing with our coup plot for later on in the situation. But one thing I can do is I can reduce the Ottoman Empire's autonomy, and I'm going to do that before... Oh, nope, not like that. Overlord actions. You're going to be a Dominion now. Look at me. You're a Dominion now. Excellent. Alright, that is all we've got time for today, my nerds. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.